I've had a lot of people reach out to me in the last week or so asking about how to get their SNAP benefits replaced. And this is something that we haven't talked about a lot recently. So I wanted to go over it with you in some detail today. So we do know that EBT thefts are continuing. These thieves are stealing benefits from low income families nationwide. And some areas are hit harder than others. But ultimately, it comes down to those skimming devices at the payment terminals and the scammers that are tricking people via links and other things like that. Now, we do know that the federal government did allow the nationwide EBT replacement program to expire on December 21st of 2024. That program did just kind of phase out. It wasn't renewed. However, some states are still allowing people to get replacement EBT benefits, and there are other programs that may be able to help you get food if your benefits are stolen as well. And I want to go over all of that with you today. So, just to recap, we're going to talk about the 3 steps that you need to take immediately if your benefits are stolen. We're going to talk about which states are still reimbursing those benefits so that you can get your money back. And we're going to talk about other resources that may be able to help you, even if it's not available in your state. So, just before we dive in, just a quick shout out to our sponsor, Free Cash. This is a great way to get a little extra money in a hurry, especially if you have found that your SNAP benefits are gone and you need some quick relief. They have really low thresholds for payouts, and you can earn money by testing new apps, playing games, and more. So go check that out if you're interested. Now, here are the 3 things that you need to do right now. Okay. First thing, you need to go change your PIN immediately. Like, seriously, pause this video and go change your PIN right now. It's that urgent. And make it a complicated one. Please don't use consecutive or sequential numbers. Don't pick numbers that are all the same. No 1111, 2222, none of that. No 1234, nuh-uh. Right? Don't pick numbers that would be easy to guess. You need to try to make it complicated. And if you want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you again, I recommend changing your PIN every single month for extra security. Now, along with that, the second thing you need to do is go request a new EBT card right away, because thieves, to steal your benefits, need to have your PIN number and your card number both. So if you switch your PIN, that's great, but you're only changing one number in the equation. If they've already got your benefits, you need to get yourself a fresh new EBT card number too, to make sure that it's even harder for that theft to ever happen again. So some states can issue you a new card the same day if you visit the office in person. Some are going to take a few days, but you need to make sure that you get that fresh EBT card number and you're not using the same one going forward. Now, along with that, you also need to report the theft. Yeah, I know a lot of states aren't going to do much about it, but if you contact your state's SNAP office and explain what happened, give them some details about the date, time, and place that the benefits were used, ask for a case number so that you can follow up with them if you have additional questions, and then go watch the news, because if a lot of people are experiencing this theft, odds are it's going to get investigated, and you might be able to identify what store or platform exposed your information, and hopefully that will help you cut down on your risks in the future. For example, we've seen that some stores are more likely to have skimming devices attached to their payment terminals. And if you know which ones let it fly in the past, you can avoid shopping there in the future and hopefully safeguard your benefits a little better, because those skimming devices are responsible for a lot of the SNAP theft that we've been seeing. Now let's talk about how to get those SNAP benefits reimbursed, because some states are still doing this. Like I said, the federal reimbursement for stolen SNAP benefits expired on December 20th, 2024. After December 21st, they were invalid. So we have seen several bills get introduced to Congress that would bring this program back, but unfortunately, none of them have advanced beyond introduction. You can see a screenshot there of congress.gov where they are all just stuck and they're not moving forward. And that's really frustrating. So even though the federal government is not reimbursing for SNAP theft anymore, I do want you to know that federal reimbursement is still available if you lose food that you purchased with SNAP due to a misfortune like a power outage, a fire, a flood, or a natural disaster. You can get up to 1 month's allotment replaced if you request it within 10 days of the loss. Now, this does not cover theft, and that is frustrating. But if you go out, you go grocery shopping, you fill up your fridge or your freezer, and then the power goes out for, I think it's more than 4 hours is the limit, but I'd have to look it up to be sure. But if your power's out for a certain amount of time, or if there's a natural disaster, disaster or something else that causes that food to spoil or be a loss, then you may be able to get those benefits replaced in that specific circumstance. Now, along with that, if you live in certain states, you can still get those theft reimbursements. That's because when the USDA discontinued that program, the Food and Nutrition Service advised states that, quote, SNAP state agencies can choose to replace stolen benefits using state funds. Now, of course, a lot of states saw that and went, no thanks, because they didn't have the money to front that on their own. Now, some states did continue to process those transactions because they could afford to do so. And so, if you live in one of those states, you are in luck. So, for now, those states are going to include California. California will still replace your stolen SNAP benefits as long as you had your card with you at the time that your benefits were stolen. So, that means you had the card, somebody cloned your card and used it elsewhere. It's not like you handed your card to somebody and they just went and ran into the store, right? So to get that reimbursement, you have to have had your card with you at the time that your benefits were stolen and your information was either skimmed or scammed. Now, if you don't know the difference between those two, skimming is when you swipe your card at the payment terminal and there's some sort of skimming device attached that copies your card number and your PIN, sends it to somebody, they clone your card. Now they have a duplicate card and they can go shop with it wherever they want. That's skimming. Scamming is when maybe you get a text message that says, hey, your benefits have been locked. You need to click this link and give me your card number and PIN so we can unlock them for you. But that's not real. The government doesn't do that. And so, but a lot of well intentioned people, I mean, that's a scary message to get, right? So a lot of people get in that fear mindset and they don't think about it and they click it and they log in before they even realize what they're doing. And now a scammer has the information they need to go clone your card because you gave it to them. And that sucks. But that's the difference between skimming and scamming. Scamming can happen over the phone, over a text message, over an email, somebody who gets that information from you and then runs with it, right? Now, if you are a victim of this kind of theft, you do have to file a report of electronic theft within 90 days to be eligible for that replacement. You can file your form either online through BenefitsCal or by visiting your local benefits office, whichever way you prefer. Now, that's for the state of California. Maryland also allows you to still get those benefits replaced. In fact, they have a new law there that allows cardholders to claim food and cash benefits replacements for as far back as January 1st of 2021. You'll need to fill out the EBT fraud claim attestation form at mymdthink.maryland.gov, or you can go to your local DHS office and fill out a paper claim as well. You usually get a decision within 10 days. It's fairly quick and easy, but if you live in Maryland, that is still an option for you. Now, if you live in New York, they are still accepting claims for stolen SNAP benefits, but the theft has to have occurred on or before that December 20th cutoff. They will only be accepting those claims until September 30th. So if you had your benefits stolen on or before that date, you really need to act fast to get that claimed. You can fill out the claim form for replacing electronically stolen benefits on the New York website. Now, with that in mind, I did see where the USDA allowed states to continue processing these kinds of reimbursements for thefts that happened before that December 20th of 2024 cutoff. But I would imagine that most states are probably going to be wrapping that up by September if they haven't already. So if you are aware of a theft that happened on your account prior to that date, I would recommend that you reach out to your state anyway, just to be safe, just to see if there's anything they can do. If your state was not on this list and the theft happened after December 20th, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to help you. But that being said, it never hurts to reach out anyway, right? The worst they're going to do is tell you no. And you really need to reach out to them anyway to be able to report that theft. So personally, if it was me, I would go ahead and reach out and talk to them anyway, just to make sure that I tried. Now, if you are in one of those states where you're not going to be able to get that reimbursement, first of all, I am so sorry. I know these scammers are just so predatory, and I can't imagine how terrifying and overwhelming and stressful it must be to wake up and go grocery shopping and find out that someone else took all of that food money from your family. That is awful. But there are other places you can turn for assistance, and I want to talk to you about those today. So, first up, check for community fridges and pantries in your area. This is different than food banks. These are decentralized, local people helping local people programs. Sometimes you can find them in community centers. Sometimes, I know in my area, a lot of people just have little shelter things at the end of their driveway where extra food for people to grab. You can see by the map that you see here on screen that mini pantries are in a lot of places. There are different websites that track these. So fridgefinder.app will help you find a community fridge that's going to have more perishable type items. Mapping.littlefreepantry.org is the one that you're seeing here on screen, and that's going to show you where those little like boxes of non-perishables can be found. You can also check your local community Facebook group as well. I have seen some amazing things happen in our community Facebook group where people post that they need something and then people step up and help fill that need. So definitely consider that if that's something that you need. Now, of course, there are also local food banks, and these are organizations that can often help you get emergency food if you lose your SNAP benefits to theft. Now, sometimes there are limitations, right? I've seen a lot of food banks that'll only give you 3 days worth of food or whatever. So be aware of the limits in your area. Some food banks do offer fresh produce, dairy, meat, and other essentials. Some are more limited. Some will help you with weeks worth of food. Some will only give you a few days. It really varies. But you can call 211 to look for the food banks in your area if that's a resource that you'd like to try. Now, along with that, there are also community meal programs. These are going to be soup kitchens, senior centers, community groups that serve free meals to people who need them. This is a great way to help stretch your budget during tough times. A lot of times you'll see flyers for these at your local library or your community bulletin board. Sometimes I see signs for them at local grocery stores. You can also ask around in your local Facebook groups, things like that, see if anybody knows. Faith-based groups are another great place to turn for that kind of help, because a lot of times churches, mosques, temples, different religious organizations are going to have food drives or meal programs that may be available to the community. And you usually don't have to be a member of that religion to get that kind of resource. So don't hesitate to ask around, right? Call your local churches, call 211 and see if there's any churches in your area that offer that kind of assistance. Along with that, you know that we have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of different videos about how to get free food assistance, right? Because there's all sorts of programs out there. You've got WIC, you've got the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, you've got free summer meals, there's Meals on Wheels and other senior meal services, barter and swap groups. I've talked to you a lot about Facebook groups already. The Reddit Assistance Forum is a great place to turn for limited help like that. You can always call 211, and if all else fails, you can try Lasagna Love. That is an amazing organization that offers a free lasagna dinner, no questions asked, to anybody who needs one. You just go to their website and you fill out the request form, and they'll hook you up with a volunteer in your area who can create a lasagna for you. So it's really, really nice. Recommend that you go check that out. And of course, just another shout out to our sponsor, Free Cash. If you're looking for a quick way to make up some extra money, this is a great opportunity to do that. Don't forget to go check out our other videos and get free stuff, though. Seriously, we have a ton of other videos on free food programs. And if you've lost your SNAP benefits, goodness knows you're going to need those resources. So please go check that out. And I'll be back soon with more ways that you can save money and get free stuff.